Hi, my name is Sarah, and I am a senior at Lakewood High School.
Sarah Griffith-Cunningham.
I'm Colleen Lopp. I'm a freshman.
Hi, my name is Jackson Emanuel. I'm a senior here at Lakewood.
Hi, I'm Kara Blatter, and I'm a 9th grader at Lakewood High School. It's wrong.
Like, why is it wrong?
Because it's killing someone's life, despite the fact that, they're still not born yet. They're still alive.
I think that you have the right to get an abortion if you want to, but if it was up to me and I was considering whether or not I would get an abortion, I wouldn't have one.
I think it should not be a choice. I think if you're stupid enough to get pregnant, you should stick with your baby.
I believe in pro-choice. I definitely think it should be legal and it should be everyone's choice whether or not they want to have one. I support it because I think it should be a decision between a woman and her doctor. I don't think the government has a right to intervene in that kind of private, personal life decision at all.
I think that people have the right to choose whether or not they want to make that major decision in their life. I believe that you have the right to have an abortion, especially if you don't think that you're going to be a good parent, because I think it's better to not have a child if you're not able to take care of them.
Because most people just use it as a birth control and say, oh, if I'm going to get pregnant, then I can just use abortion to get out of it. The moment that they're, alive in an embryo inside of someone.
I don't think a fetus is necessarily alive, or it certainly doesn't have the higher functioning brain capacities of an infant, a fetus in later terms. I think there's a continuous spectrum where there is no life, and then there slowly becomes life over a period of time during pregnancy, and then by birth, an infant is just alive as any other person who's alive.
Now, what would you think if at Lakewood one day somebody posted 15-foot wide, 30-foot high posters showing a very anti-abortion campaign, including grotesque images of abortion procedure and mutilated fetuses and all that stuff? What would you think?
Well, I'd probably be a little grossed out, I'm not going to lie. But, I think it would be good for people to know that it's a bad thing.
Of course, I would definitely view that as propaganda, and it definitely doesn't have a place in a public school setting at all. Of course, you have the right to freedom of speech, and you have the right to launch protests, and if you believe abortion is wrong, you certainly have the right to, voice your views about it, but not in a public school setting. You don't have the right just to put up posters advocating whatever view you particularly believe. There's lots of people who would disagree, and I think a lot of people who oppose abortion often aren't in the situation where they actually have to make the decision, and for a lot of people it's a tough decision that they make, and it's very hard on people, so I think that would just be offensive and callous thing to do.
I think I would probably be a little bit grossed out because I'm a squeamish person. It's clear that they obviously have some sort of agenda, especially if they're going to be that big. They do have the right to post those things, but I think that there's a difference between putting up one giant poster and then, for example, if you decided to wallpaper the entire school with them, I think that might be taking it a little bit too far.
I would feel like, that's a really weird question, but I feel like if that happened, would it be pro-abortion or like against abortion?
Against.
Oh, well, then I wouldn't really care. I think it would help inform the student body, so I wouldn't be completely against it, but I probably wouldn't enjoy it in the early hours of the morning. I think it would affect a lot of people, just knowing what would really happen, and more than just the idea of abortion, I guess, seeing it would be different.
Well, if you think that abortion is the equivalent of murdering infant children, if you put those on the same level, then you can sort of see why people would have such a fanaticism about the issue.
I think it's because even when you're talking about having an abortion, you're not exactly aware of what goes on. It's an invasive procedure, and people don't get to see what goes on when you're having that, and so if you had those images there, that would definitely influence people to think in a different way.
When you see something being done, then it's a lot worse than if you just don't think about it. Wow, that's pretty intense. Probably that, you know, it's a good thing to get the word out. And that they have some pretty hardcore people over there.
Well, like I said, I think that they have the right to do that, and I think that they are able to do that, but I think that you also have to look at the fact that there's another side to it, and that the people that are getting abortions are not doing this so they can mutilate their unborn child. That's not what they're trying to do. There's another reason behind it. It's not just that they want to have an abortion because they want that stuff to happen. I think that's the tragic side effect, needless to say, if you do get an abortion, but it's not, they're not going out to kill people, in my opinion.
Well, I feel like they're informing people, so lots of plus. I hope they didn't get in too much trouble for it, though.
No, I think that even I was always someone that wanted people to have the choice, and really my opinion on abortion, when it comes down to, is it's not me that's doing it. And so if you want to go out and you want to do it, then you have the right to do that.
I'm a Catholic, so it's in my religion, and I just feel that everyone should have a chance for life, I guess.
My lack of faith has influenced my opinion at all. I mean, if you have faith that life starts immediately at conception, then of course your opinion about where life starts will be affected by that.
Well, if, you know, they knew that they were going to be in a bad neighborhood or something, or just couldn't afford to have a child.
I think that if there's a very good chance that the fetus wouldn't survive if they have some kind of genetic defect where they wouldn't be able to live beyond a month or so, I think that you would probably want to have an abortion in that case, because I think the pain of giving birth to a child and then only having them die 2 or 3 weeks later would be extremely painful. And I also think that if the mother was going to die in childbirth, that it would be another reason why you might want to have an abortion, because then there's also the pain of having the child but then not having a mother to raise them. I wouldn't know if, I think it depends on the person, if a rape victim has the right to do that. I think it's really comes down to whether or not you want to be reminded of that painful experience when you're raising your kid. And then there's also the choice of people that have unwanted pregnancies. If they're planning on raising them and they don't think that they're a capable parent, then they may want to have an abortion then too.
Fetuses don't have any intellectual or brain capacity, and don't have sentience in the way that we generally would define human life. And in my opinion, that's on the basis from which we assign a value.
Okay, what do you want me to say?
Tell me what it was like there.
Okay, I was down at the Aurora campus with the Justice for All group because I helped do work with them, and we were down there, and some people didn't like it, some people did. We had some sandbags thrown at us, but then we had some people who had actually done abortions. They felt really bad, and they actually signed up for Justice for All, and it's actually a really good program. I know some people don't like it, but we really do change lives, and we're trying to get people to understand that you're killing a human life.